Hey folks, here is a video to review how you can identify different types of scales. On our final exam, you are going to be asked to identify whether a scale is major, natural minor, melodic minor, or harmonic minor. And so this video is to help you be able to look at scales, ask yourself some questions, and determine what type of scale it is. So first thing is first, we're going to go over what the different potential decisions are. So the first thing we're going to look at is whether or not a scale is different on the way up than on the way down, because we only have one type of scale that does that, and that is a melodic minor scale. So that's one of the first things that we can look at to pull that one, differentiate it, I guess, from everything else. Then the second thing that we're going to look at is the relationship between the 7th scale degree and the 8th scale degree, or TDO or TADO. If we have a whole step between scale degree 7 and 8, or TADO, we have only one type of scale that does that on this test, and that is the natural minor scale. Then, if it happens to be a half step in between 7 and 8, or TDO, then you have two potential types of scales. It's either going to be a harmonic minor or a major. And what you can look at then is the 3rd scale degree or the 6th scale degree. So keeping those things in mind, let's look at these 4 different scales. So this first one here, we start on D, we end on D, and we can see that on the way up, we have a C sharp. On the way down, we have a C natural, and then a B flat. So we have a scale that is different on the way up than it is on the way down. So for the purposes of this test, we know that this is going to be a melodic minor scale based on that information. Now, of course, we would want to check that and make sure that that's exactly correct. You shouldn't get in the habit of just saying, oh, it's different and therefore. But if we take a look, we can see that we have a lowered 3rd, right, from D. When we think about D major, we have D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. That's our normal major scale. So we have a lowered 3rd scale degree because we have F natural. We have, on the way up, we have La and T because we have regular B natural and C sharp. And then on the way back down, we have them lowered. So we have Te and Lay. So we have our lowered 7th scale degree and our lowered 6th scale degree. And then again, we keep that lowered 3rd scale degree, just as it should be. So the melodic minor scale, on the way up, we only have a lowered 3rd, and on the way down, we have a lowered 7, 6, and then 3 again. And it's the only one of our scales that is different on the way up than it is on the way down. So that can absolutely help us to make a decision. Now we're looking at this next one. Let's see, is it the same on the way up as it is on the way down? Starts on E. Everything looks to be the same. So we know that we're going to look at the 7th scale degree, the relationship between the 7th scale degree and the 8th scale degree. So we have E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E. D to E, if we look at our piano keyboard, that is a whole step, or TADO rather than TDO. So we know that with this whole step, we're probably dealing with a natural minor scale. We can check that and look. Our E major scale, normally we're going to have E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, and E, right? Great. So we have F sharp, that's our 2. We have a lowered 3rd from G sharp to G natural. We have a lowered 6 from C sharp to C natural. And we have a lowered 7th from D sharp to D natural. So we have a textbook natural minor scale. And again, on the test, instead of just calling this melodic minor, you would call it D melodic minor, sorry. And then here we have E natural minor. Okay, Now this next one, let's look, is it the same on the way up as it is on the way down? We have A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F. They look to be the same on the way up and down. Now let's look at the 7th and 8th scale degree to look at the relationship between them. Between G and A flat, we have a half step. We have T-do, or a half step. And so that means it can be one of two things. It's either going to be a major scale, an A flat major scale, or it's going to be A flat harmonic minor. Now we can look a couple of places. A really easy one to start with is just to look at the 3rd scale degree and say, is it lowered from major? A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G, A flat. That's our major scale. And normally C is natural. And in this case, we have a regular 3. It's just a regular old garden variety 3rd scale degree. And we can look at that 6th scale degree and see, yep, we don't have that crazy 1.5 step between the 6th and 7th scale degree. It's just a regular old, ooh, that's still my eraser. It's a regular old whole step. So we don't have that crazy 3/2 step or 1.5 step interval in between the 6th and the 7th scale degree. So we just have regular A flat major. So our last scale, let's look at it on the way up and on the way down. We have B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, E flat, A natural, B flat. Same thing on the way down. Good. Let's look at the relationship between 7 and 8. We have A natural to B flat. That's a half step. So it's either going to be a major scale or it is going to be a harmonic minor scale. Again, one of the first places you can go to look is the 3rd scale degree. In B flat major, we have B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, right? And so normally we would have a D natural. We have a D flat here, which is a lowered 3rd scale degree, which tells us this is probably minor. And then if we look again at the 6th and 7th scale degree, we have that lowered 6th and that raised up or normal like major 7th scale degree. That's where that 1.5 steps or that 3/2 steps or that Steve interval comes in, where it is bigger than a whole step. So we can look at that 6th scale degree and 6 and 7 to see, oh yeah, that definitely is our harmonic minor scale. We have that lay T-do. So that is the way of being able to look at all of our different types of scales and then ask ourselves some questions to determine what type of scale it is. So again, the first one is if it's different on the way up and down, it's probably melodic minor. If it is a whole step or T-do between the 7th and 8th scale degree, it's going to be natural minor. And if it's T-do or a half step between scale degree 7 and 8, it's either going to be harmonic minor or major. You can look at the 3rd scale degree and see if it is just regular do, re, mi. But if it's lowered in do, re, mi, it's probably going to be harmonic minor. If it's do, re, mi, then it's going to be a major scale. So I hope that helps.